It's time to return to the carving board and carve the snake. So I started off with the bendy boy chisel, or you could use any flat chisel just to do the outline of the border. You could use a V-chisel as well, but I like using a flat chisel because the V-chisel sometimes breaks up bits of wood that I don't want it to break up. And as you can see, with a flat chisel like this, a small one, if you put the corner to the wood, you can do a lot of manoeuvring and twisting and stuff like that, so that's why I like it for this kind of thing. But when it came to the really kind of harsh curves on the snake, I went back to a gouge just to make it a bit cleaner. To clean out the background, I use this chisel, which is kind of like a really flat gouge, but also I've got some chisels that are completely flat with curved edges like this one. You see it's kind of curved at the front, and that's really helpful when you're doing this kind of thing, like digging down into the wood, to get some waste out without leaving any kind of tracks of the chisel. Because if you were to use a flat chisel for that, the corners of the flat chisel would dig into the wood and leave, like, you know, kind of tracks going all the way through the wood, which doesn't look great. And right now I'm holding the chisel at a really shallow angle, and it just allows you to take off a tiny piece of wood like that. And also it kind of gives you a bearing on if the wood's going to split, what direction the grain is going in and stuff like that, so you don't make any huge mistakes. I want to try and make the snake so that there was kind of like a ridge going all the way along the back without really carving a ridge in, but making the two ends go upwards and meet in the middle, so it's kind of like a subtle ridge, which you can see I'm kind of doing there. And to take away from those inside curves, I had to use a gouge, because trying to do that with the flat chisel, the inside curves, is really hard. While I'm doing this last bit of cleanup, I just want to thank my patrons very much for their support. Thank you very much, guys. If you're a patron, you get to see videos early, and you get to have a say in the stuff that goes into my videos, and you get to see my ideas before they even come to fruition, so lots of my brainstorming and stuff like that. And of course some of them don't actually come to fruition, but you get to take part in like the brainstorming process and that kind of thing. So I really appreciate you guys for throwing money at me. It's very kind of you. And you know what, eventually one day I was thinking I would like to get to the point where we were able to give some sculptures away, maybe to institutions, places that need them for educational purposes and stuff like that. I think that would be amazing, but that's the future. This is now. So I use the toothbrush to get all the little bits of scraggly bits that are remaining in the wood, and then I slap on some boiled linseed oil, and I wipe it off straight away with the t-shirt just so we can see what it looks like, but later on I'll add some more layers. So the snake is done, and I think it's looking kind of nice. I think it would be good as kind of a motif or some kind of design on a border or a frame, perhaps. Yeah, I quite like it. Anyway, next we're doing the yin-yang, which is a very simple one, so we're going to have to try and make it as clean as possible. I'll show you how we make this kind of domed circle and then make it fade towards the inner edges and everything. So, and then after that we have acorn, Celtic knot, owl, and the pyramid border. I'm not doing this cat or the shield, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things left to fill in. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments, and maybe your idea will get onto the board. But until then, thank you very much for coming, and I will catch you next time.